I was in a grade 7 math class yesterday. They were working on algebra and combining like terms and applying the distributive property. And so there'd been some teaching about it, and the teacher had a problem on the board and said, okay, in your groups, work on this problem. At the end, he said, okay, who wants to share what they did? One group did. He sort of noted on the board what they did, and the answer was wrong. And in that moment, he could have just said, oh, you're wrong. Here's what you did wrong. Next problem. Let's move on. But he didn't. He said, oh, okay, great. Who had a different answer? And then another group shared their answer in the way that they solved the problem. He put that up here. And then again, he could have just said, oh yeah, that's right. This is wrong. Here's what they did right. Here's what they did wrong. But he didn't. He said, okay, great. At your groups, which one do you think is right and why? And so he took this problem and turned it into an opportunity for the kids to really dig deeply into the concept and all of the tiny little pieces of knowledge that you have to have in order to solve that problem. And it became a much more rich learning experience because the kids were the ones who had to reason through in logic and make meaning of this problem. And it's actually similar to what's going to happen next week when they come in for conferences. They're going to get a whole bunch of information from their teachers, and you're going to hear it, and they're going to hear it. You're going to learn about what's going well, maybe what's not going as well. And you're going to have a tendency as a parent, as we do as teachers, as we do as parents, to want to just tell them, this is what I heard, this is what you need to do differently, this is what's working, this is what's not. And it's a tendency that comes because as parents, we can see these things really clearly. It's very simple to us. It makes sense. It's very logical. But the more that we do that, the less effective that parenting is going to be. And so as you come in for conferences, a nudge or an encouragement is to have your child make meaning of that just by asking them questions. Oh, so what do you think is going well after hearing all your teachers? What's something you might want to work on? How would you do that? And by asking them to make meaning of their conferences, just like the math teacher was asking them to make meaning of the math, it's going to be more likely that those realizations stick. When they come to a realization on their own, it's more likely that they're going to action it as opposed to if they're just told. There's another video in eNews this week from Ruth Heron, our grade 8 deputy, about our new grading scale and it includes a fair bit on how to talk to your child about their grades. And so I encourage you to also take a look at that video as you approach this time with conferences and sort of the wrap up of quarter 1.